I say it and I'm done. That's it. I don't care. You have to care. It's communication. You're speaking with people. You have to care. You need to be concerned about how they receive the information. It's part of communication. Hi everyone, this is Dr. Ennis Olorunipa. Welcome to the second part of Introduction to Effective Communication Skills. Alright, so last week we're discussing the 8 communication processes. I explained 4 of them, and in today's video I will explain the remaining 4. Alright, so I'll recap the 8 processes. The first one is the source. Second, the message. E, encoding. C, the fourth one is channel. The fifth one, decoding. Sixth one is receiving. Seventh, feedback. And 8th, context. So I gave you a mnemonic to remember it: SME, CDR, FC. So just a recap on the first 4. The source is the origin of the information. All right. The message is the information itself. Encoding is how you package the information, the format of the information. Then channel is how you transmit the information. Now, so in case you missed previous week's video, please go watch the video. It will give you a good background on today's video. Okay, so the 5th one is decoding. So now the information has been passed to you through some channel. All right, so right now I'm talking to you through the internet, probably YouTube for some people, Instagram, Facebook, but you're seeing this video through the internet. All right, and now you have to decode the information. That means understanding what I have communicated. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because as the source or the origin of communication, you need to factor in the receiver, okay? How the information will be decoded. Will they be able to access the information easily? Will it be understood in the format you have packaged it? So you need to consider how the information will be decoded while preparing for communication. Let me take a simple everyday example. Imagine you're talking with a friend, and then you send them a video, okay? Send them a video, and that person doesn't have maybe internet access to download the video and watch it. So you see, you have probably was a nice message, properly encoded in the video, but they don't have the access to decode it. Do you understand? So think about different examples. So decoding information is the 5th step in communication. Then the 6th one is receiving. So you need to consider now the 6th, 7th, and 8th, they are connected in a way. There's the 5th one being receiving, the 6th one being receiving, the 7th one being feedback, and the 8th one being context. So I will explain them together. Now, when you communicate, you need to factor in the receiver. Who are those receiving the information? That will determine the language you would use, the means of communication, the channel. It will determine how you encode the information. You see, it will determine even if you need to break down the message further than what you thought it would be. So you need to think about the receiver. It's not enough to communicate. Think about those in a relationship. Maybe you're talking with your partner, and then most times think about when you say something and your partner misunderstands you, and you're thinking, no, I didn't mean it that way. You see, because while you were preparing for the communication, you did not accurately consider the receiver. Will it be received the same way I intended it? You see, so the receiver is important. Then in communication, feedback is necessary. You need to get some form of feedback. How was the message received? Many times people don't get feedback. Now, you can get feedback in different ways. One way is body language. So while communicating with someone, you observe the body language. Is it a go ahead? Do you think they have some questions? Sometimes you ask directly for feedback. And again, the way you ask for feedback also matters. You might ask for feedback in a way that you might not get the genuine response. So you want to know, did the message get across? Imagine you in a lecture hall. You can ask questions after your presentation. Make room for questions just to know if it was well received the way you had, in the context, in the exact context with which you planned for it. Okay? Then context is the eighth one, the final one. Remember I told you at the beginning of the video, the first video, that communication is passing information from the source to the receiver while retaining the content and context. So I told you the last three are related. So the feedback, while getting feedback, your feedback should be tailored towards confirming or assessing if the message was gotten in the right context. That means, context means, are they able to apply the information? Is it achieving the result? Okay, the result you intended. So while getting feedback, you must consider context. Will it be misunderstood? Because you could say something with the right, genuine intention, but it might end up being misunderstood. So you need to consider the context of the communication. There are times when part of context is even knowing when to communicate. Is it the right environment, the right atmosphere, the right situation? So all of these are things you consider while communicating. Now, as the source of the communication, why is this important to you? You are not expected to leave your communication to chance, just hoping that when I say they will understand. No, you take responsibility for every step of communication. Like I told you, even when you speak just for a few seconds, talking with someone, it goes through all these 8 processes just very quickly. So you need to train yourself to consider these 8 processes. Now, if you have any breakdown in communication in any way, at work, in your business, with your partner, you need to think about all these processes, because I can guarantee you that the barrier, the problem is somewhere along the line. So let's go through it again. It might be from you, the source. Maybe you need to change something. Maybe you are not in the perfect disposition for that communication. So check. You probably have said it in the wrong way. You were angry when you said it. There were other emotions that brought out the message in the wrong way. So the source, you could be the problem. So you check it and say, oh, was I the problem? Could I have done something better? If that's the case, then you fix it. You move to the message. Maybe the source was okay. The message, was it well packaged? Was it a right message? Was the content good? Was the content presented in the best possible way? What is the message itself? That needs to be considered. So maybe you're not the problem as the source, maybe the message is the problem. But if that's not the problem, then you move on to encoding. How did I encode the message? Maybe I should have sent a message, a text message, instead of having a verbal conversation. Maybe I needed a verbal conversation, not an email. So how did you encode the message? Maybe it should have been in a video format, not audio. So think about if the message was encoded in the best possible way. Then we move to channel. Did I use the best channel of communication? You see, so you need to consider the channel. Was it the most effective channel for that situation, for that audience? Do you understand? Then you move to the decoding. So how was it decoded? Maybe the channel was right, but the people decoded the message in the wrong way. So you need to consider, probably you need to clarify something about the way it was decoded. You see, how about the receiver? You want to think about maybe the wrong audience. Was I addressing the wrong audience? What was their previous perception about this topic that could have a direct impact on how effective the communication is? Then you move to feedback. Did you get feedback? Now, what are feedbacks for? Now, there are those who don't like negative criticism, but you see, it's part of feedback. You get it, and then you work on it. So, feedback, you get feedback. Because when you get feedback, you can always improve on the previous communication. So, don't be that guy who says, like, one-way traffic. I say it and I'm done. That's it, I don't care. You have to care. It's communication. You're speaking with people, you have to care. You need to be concerned about how they receive the information. It's part of communication. Okay, so it's important. Then the context, you want to be sure, was it gotten? And how would you assess if they got the message in content and context? Is through feedback. So I hope you learned something from this video. This was Introduction to Communication Part 2. Now, there are several effective communication skills. I'll touch on some of them in subsequent videos, but I expect that you have learned a lot from this video. And remember that I have a masterclass on effective communication skills. So if you would like to sign up for my masterclass, which I really encourage that you do, please click the link below and ensure that you come. Now listen, if you're a business owner, you have a family, you are in a relationship, because everyone is. You are in one form of relationship or the other. You have to communicate with clients every day. You need communication skills. You require it. You are a pastor. You lead a group. You are an employee, an employer. You're a boss. Whatever you do, these skills are vital. So I encourage you to sign up to my Effective Communication Skills Masterclass. And I hope to give you a one-on-one tutorial on communication. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.